Well, much like the American Ethanol Late Model Tour, the American Ethanol Modified Tour, presented by All Star Performance, has much of the same fate. Cold and rain puts an end to their season, but Jacob Poel, what a points battle you had going with David Milkey. And I know that you'd probably like to have been able to race it out on the dirt of Berlin, but nonetheless, you're crowned the American Ethanol Modified Tour champion. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, I had a learning experience this last winter. Went down to Tennessee and worked with Scott Bloomquist and learned a little bit more, to further my knowledge with setup and, just with help from Scott Presley, my dad, and everybody else, just, kept the ball rolling. But we started out the year good. I found we led most of the race there and had a late race caution that David got around us. And it was back and forth with us all year. We had some really awesome races, and I mean, memories that I'll cherish forever. Not just with David, but with Joe and Brad Wilson and Chad Bauer. There's so many great drivers in this modified series. So each and every week that we got to race with these guys, it was just a pleasure to be there. So.
Well, and you look back too. You look at the results from this summer, and it seemed like it was, Jacob Poel, David Milkey, some guy else, that snuck in there, and then it was you two battling it out again. And when it come right down to it, 63 points I think was all that separated you and David going into the final night, which again did get rained out 2 nights in a row. What was the feeling knowing that you were going to have to race him, and it was going to come down to the final aim of the season?
Well, I mean, I try to look at the big picture of things, and the beginning of the summer we were focused on winning lots of races, and then to win championships, you really just got to be consistent and you got to finish races. So we got to about a halfway point in the season, especially before we even got to Berlin. I was already in a mode where when I went to the racetrack, I knew I had to take care of my equipment. And win or lose, it would have been great to race, the final race. But we can't really control the weather, and with the way things were with Berlin and everything, they did what they had to do and canceled the shows.
6 heat race wins, 6 feature wins on the season. That's 50-50. As far as the season goes, if you're looking at a 12-race schedule, that's pretty respectable to be at a 500 mark when everything's said and done. It had to take a lot of people to help you get through that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I mean, Scott Presley has been helping us for the last couple of years, and he's been a family friend of ours for a long time. And he's very thorough with notes and stuff. I mean, before he started coming along, I would just be whatever I could hold in my head. And after Scott came along, he documents everything. Whether it's a tire pressure or any changes that we make during the track. So it's nice to have somebody like that to document things, and that way you have notes that you can go back to and stay consistent. Six wins out of the 12 races that we ran with the ethanol series is great. And I mean. In the last 6 years, whenever we've had a good season, I've had a couple of bad seasons where we were testing different things that just didn't work out for us. We try to hit that 500 mark, and we feel like at the end of the year, if we can go back and say that we won even close to half the races that we entered, then we did a really good job. So this year we raced 32 races overall, and we had 14 wins. We might race once or twice more depending on what this weather is going to do, but. Besides that, I mean, like I said, the ethanol guys has been a great deal this whole series. I was really excited over the winter hearing that we were going to have this modified series, watching the late models for the first couple of years, and seeing how professional they ran the series, and just to be a part of that. And then there again, with the core group of drivers that they have to work with, it just makes it fun to go to a racetrack.
Talk to me about how you get here. What I mean by that is, you and I talked earlier, some 12 seasons behind the wheel of some form of modified.
Yeah.
You ran the series when it was the Michigan Dirt Cup, and then now that it's the American Ethanol Tour presented by All Star Performance. Just kind of talk us through 12 years behind the wheel of a modified, and what this championship, where that kind of ranks and all of that.
Well, my dad got me started with racing. The same thing as like what Donald was saying. I mean, it's just became a kind of a tradition, something we've done together and spent a lot of time together with, and we've built almost every single one of my cars that I've ever had. And I had street stocks and that thing for a couple of years there. We got the first modified, and I told my dad, I said, I want to go to Kentucky. I haven't even raced it, and So that's what we did for 2 or 3 years there in a row. We went down to Western Kentucky Speedway and ran the Bluegrass Bash. And I've always wanted to just kind of bounce around at different tracks and just get experience and gain knowledge along with that experience. So, we've done that, and that's where this series really comes handy with us because, we can go to all these tracks. We've been to all these tracks where a lot of guys will just stay at one specific track, and that's great. Everybody races a little bit different. Some people stay at a track, some people like to bounce around. It's just a personal preference. So, but basically, that's how we've got to in modifieds is just racing and running different tracks.
There's a little bit of conversation, if you look at your personal Facebook page, about what 2018 has in store for you. You mentioned that you might be looking to purchase a late model. What does 2018 have in store for you as far as on this day?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep the car that we had from this season, and we'll freshen that thing back up. Leave it alone pretty much. I mean, the car is working so great. And I'd still like to run mostly, modified races. There's a couple other traveling series that are around with the modifieds that I'd like to run, and you have to have a little bit different body, the USMTS series. So we might run a few shows with them, but the late model deal, I'm going to try hard to put something together for that, and it'll just basically be something to get my feet wet. I might race a couple local nights just to kind of shake the car down, but mostly just go to the ethanol series races because, like I said, when you go to a racetrack, you want to know that, how things are going to go. You want consistency. You want to know what you're going to expect. So racing for a series, especially like with the ethanol series, when they do things week in and week out the same exact way, you know what to expect. So I think it would be a good way to open my eyes to the late models, get used to the size of the car difference. I've raced a few of them over the years, just nothing really that serious. And just kind of build a car for myself once and just make some laps and take from there.
So now the burning question is, you're the inaugural champion for the American Ethanol Modified Tour. Do you come back to defend it in 2018?
Yeah, most likely, like I said, we'll concentrate on the modified stuff. That'll be the ethanol series. Basically to start out this season, I had two goals. I wanted to win this series, and I wanted to win that $10,000 win race at Merritt. And, we had two other $5,000 win races at Hartford and Michigan that we did with the Dirt Cup Series previously. And we won both of those, and they put up $10,000. I said I wanted to go there and win that race. So, I could race just those races and then finish up the series and be perfectly content with where we ended our season, knowing that we accomplished two goals that we set up to do.
So we'll look for you then, 2018 season, right back where you were to defend the American Ethanol Modified Tour championship, and look for Jacob Poel to defend that championship next year, 2018. See if he can do it again.